Good evening and welcome back, everyone. Missed a week of streaming, but we're back. Good evening, Ted. A few people here. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Heretic. Why not? Heretic? How would you say it? I don't even know. Good evening. Good evening, Mike. Good evening, Waylon. Hope everyone's doing all right tonight. Wanted an easy game, quote unquote, this week. I am deep in the deep in the editing of the next video. So, Evening Pixel, welcome, Philly Cheesesteak. Happy New Year, indeed. 2023 is here. The video that I'm working on is, as anyone who's done any of this knows, it's expanding and ballooning more than I had planned. Good evening, Doppler. Heretic. Got it. Thank you for the phonics there. Yeah, I can always blame it's not my native language, and I get out of that easy, all right? So, evening, Brad. Welcome. Hope everyone's doing all right. As I said, I wanted to play something quote-unquote easy, and it's been on my list for a while. I've had actually requests for that, specifically. People have asked for it here and there, in real life too. And it's funny, because I've never really played through this game, believe it or not, but my first exposure actually is from this very cover CD of PC Games, March 1995. Well, I missed you too, Ted. Welcome back. Yeah, I know I had to skip last week. There was a lot of family stuff going on, which is not going to be worth squeezing it in, but it's fun to be back streaming now. So, but I said I wanted an easy game. But yeah, my sister had a friend who worked at a store that sold like game magazines in the 90s, among other things. So it was tons of stuff. But when they, at least the way I knew it, was back then when they recycled the magazines, they couldn't recycle the CDs with them. Or they shipped the magazines back, I guess. But the CDs they threw away. They basically just had to chuck them or recycle them or whatever. So he was like, hey, you want a few of these? And I'm like, absolutely, because this is before I had any subscription. This is, in Sweden. This is a British mag, PC Games. Heretic 2, I do have. We'll stream that some other time too. I do have the big box for that. I do not have the box for this one, because this is one of those that's gone just bonkers on price now. Shareware or retail version, like anything else, early id Software like that, has just exploded. And, we'll get to that. But this game, of course, was published by id Software, but developed by Raven Software. So I think there's a way to mod GEC Doom or the RT Boom to run the Heretic WAD. We're not doing that tonight, but I do believe there's a way to do that. But I've seen I looked into it a little bit, and I have seen other ones talking about different RTX mods for Heretic, because yes, the environment is perfect for that. It's dark and broody and moody, and it would be perfect for it. And I think I saw some older mods that never really came to fruition, but have new hope with all the new, like, RT injection going on, right? So, but yeah, the demo cover CD here was basically, came with Heretic and Descent and Earth Siege. You can see here, this is a pretty loaded one, and for someone who didn't have really internet at the time, these discs were just gold, because there were so many demos on there. We have King's Quest VII, Princess Bride, US Navy Fighters, Siberia, Psycho Pinball, Click and Play. A ton of time on that one. Even Toby Life RS, Scottish Open Virtual Golf, Ultimate Body Blows, and more. This is a good demo CD, but these things were just, I poured through these and tested almost every demo back then. And the Heretic demo, of course, was a shareware version, so it had the entire first episode, like most of these shareware releases back in the day did. That's pretty amazing. So yeah, this is developed by Raven Software, the Raven Software that have done many games later on, which are now stuck developing Call of Duty games. That's all they do, I think. So, well, fantastic. I'm glad I can be your in-between flight entertainment. So, they develop a lot of games, but yeah, now they're just doing Call of Duty stuff. And I think they've said that they're interested in revisiting the Heretic universe, but Activision's not going to let them, because Call of Duty prints money, and it still will for some time. So, but as I understood, I look it up a little bit, and it was one of those games that id Software basically invited them to use the engine, the Doom engine, as we'll see. For those that are familiar, I think most of us are familiar with this game, but it uses the enhanced version of the original Doom engine. And they go and do some pretty neat stuff with it. Nothing crazy, and it clearly feels like a reskinned Doom, which, for better or worse, in many cases it is. Even the weapon slots are very similar, but it has its own style to it. It's very moody and like dark fantasy. And of course, spawned several sequels. We have Heretic 2, but then Hexen and Hexen 2. We did stream Hexen 2 already, which uses the Quake engine. We should stream Hexen as well sometime, but there's a lot of cool games, so... that's true. That would be pretty funny to if they link all that. I know that id Software said all their games like are connected, like right to Commander Keen is like the great grand or son to BJ Blazkowicz or something like that, right? Whatever. Yeah, but you're right. There's a lot of really cool dark fantasy games in the DOS era when you think about it, especially like those dungeon crawlers. But then of course these first-person shooters, which are really fun and. I mean, most of us have tried this one in one way or another. So we have a little bit of a choice to make tonight. I mentioned it in Discord, but I do have this configured right now to use general MIDI. And I'm using a MIDI player and a external soft synth, basically, that emulates a SC55. So this is not a real SC55. We have streamed this before. We can switch back to the original Sound Blaster soundtrack if you want to, for nostalgia's sake, but it's actually pretty good on the MIDI one. So if we want to test back and forth, we can, but right now we're going to start playing it with the general MIDI settings. And I can show you the setup program, and basically you can see we have it selected at the top at general MIDI and then Sound Blaster. That's pretty much it. There's much else to configure, but we do have a Sound Blaster AW64 as a reminder in this machine. I'll see the specs here in a second, but this is our Pentium 1 166, which is really a sweet spot for running these quote-unquote later DOS games. I mean, this was 95, right? So we're butting up against Quake almost at this point, which came out in 96, I want to say. And so you need a later Pentium machine to run some of these at good frame rates. And I still stand by that. I think a late, like a P150 or higher MMX Intel chipset or equivalent gives you a fantastic DOS performance for a lot of the later DOS games. You always have the speed-sensitive DOS games at earlier ones, but there are ways to get around that. But I think that that is a sweet spot for playing almost all these later DOS games and have a great time. He runs them all fantastic, like your Descent, Heretic, and you can even run Quake and stuff like that with acceleration. So it is a very good sweet spot of a machine, which of course I've covered in many videos. But we're just going to launch Heretic. To change the resolution because it wonks. There we go. That's right. Evening Bluebeard and evening Tolerate, and welcome back. Of course, it's loud. I turned down on my side because it's just a clawing and the murderous and venoms, and yeah, it drops right in the demo. Yeah, so I have the Orchid Voodoo 1 is in this machine, and that is my original Voodoo 1 card that I bought brand new. I still have it, and it's still one of my favorite video cards for nostalgia and also the fact that the Voodoo 1 is fantastic. So this, of course, is not a Voodoo-supported game at all. It is just software rendered, and unless there was a later version, I don't think so, but yes, as far as I understand it, Romero was a producer on this one. I just read up on it, shamelessly looking at the Wikipedia article, but Romero was a producer helping Raven Software get familiar with the toolset that id Software used for developing their games. So he kind of coached them on how to use the id Tech engines and all that stuff. So, yes, there's a new RGB. I've been slowly adding a RGB to my basement setup here for obvious purposes of being cool and rad, and so it's red tonight. So, Carmack ever happy? But that's pretty funny too. So that actually came out on the 360. Yeah, there's a light. So yeah, I do have the only box I have, unfortunately, is that Voodoo. Well, unfortunately, the Voodoo 5 box. I'm of course very happy to have that. But we're gonna soon launch it so that the demo stops running here because it's kind of ridiculous. We're gonna play on the second to easiest difficulty, but right now it just launches the game, and we have. I'm not sure if it's hearable or not. Let me know if you can hear the music because it is very quiet. I can turn that up a little bit because it is just a general MIDI, and if for some reason it is just very quiet, and I can crank it up on the soft emulation I use for this lets me control the settings separately. So, can you hear it? Okay, good, because the problem I found was that the volume, okay, we'll do that, because so you notice, Pixel, I've been in here to do that very thing when I was stream prepping here, so I'll erase that, I'll do that. We'll run with that a little bit. What I found is that that particular like gun that you saw a second ago, that sound effect is really loud for some reason. That gun only. So tuning the audio to that gun makes it just like offset. But this should hopefully be a good balance. So, but yeah, it's pretty funny because that's right. This game has been re-released on tons of different things, and of course, again, you play this on an older machine. It sounds good, the MIDI. And again, this is emulated SC55. It's not a real Roland sound canvas. I'll put it out there. It uses a sound font that's a sound alike. Evening Revenant, welcome back. And it would be nice to have a real one, but I'll get one eventually. But right now, the software emulation of this kind of stuff has gotten really good. So I've enjoyed tinkering with that. So, but let's play some Heretic. We're gonna shoot things with a staff this time. I'm playing with keyboard controls because that's how I play. See if the sound effects are almost a little too quiet now. For those not familiar with these games, I'm gonna assume most of you are, but it is, of course, just a Doom structure with keys and you know, key cards and weapons. And it's funny because the weapon slots are almost identical. I think I'm turning up the sound effect 1. There we go. The weapon slots are almost identical in the sense that this is the gun, and you get a shotgun later equivalent, like a crossbow and stuff like that. Ooh, the 233. You know, it's one of those, like, I think we talked about it before. I know, Pixel, you mentioned a lot, is the best in slot tax. And I think that the P233 MMX, right, is the fastest socket 7 Intel CPU there is, right? Yes, that is correct. You're very right, Doppler. And of course, we do touch it. We wouldn't dream of performing any piracy stuff here. I certainly never in my youth pirated any games at all. And I'm sure all the Amiga games I ever saw were all on handwritten floppies, as was the style at the time. Anyway. Yeah, that's the thing with that one, the official one. I would happily spend money on the official Roland one. The problem is, yeah, they put it behind a subscription wall, which just seems ridiculous. I think they're trying to make it like... okay. Maybe I'll have to grab one too, because this is a socket 7 machine. Yeah, exactly. I would have gotten it too if it wasn't sub. And I was looking at it because I think they're trying to get people invested or interested in their old equipment, right? But in this case here, when they put it behind a subscription, that's ridiculous because I just want that one. But this is, to be fair, this is a sound-alike, basically, where they, you know, someone captured a sound canvas and then redid it as a sound font, so. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. They probably did. As our main bad guy for a while. And this game would benefit greatly from ray tracing, and that's the thing. I feel like in a lot of games, you know, you might say ray tracing is kind of a gimmick, and in some games it can be. I think a lot of these older games really benefit from it because the contrast between ray tracing and like really cool shadows on these very simplistic geometry, like with sharp angles, it looks great. I mean, I think that the ray tracing on Doom was fantastic. So I'm really hopeful we can see more retro games with ray tracing because they do look really cool. Especially on the CRT, I might add. You know, someone elitist like that. Nice and that's right, there was a remastered, so it's funny they you keep re-releasing stuff like that. I know that Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, had said he had looked at the Activision back catalog, and he said, I saw Hex and Heretic in there, like, let's go. But that's, you know, that's kind of like a problem right now because that's being sued and all that stuff, so. Iniboka, welcome. I know where there's secrets. Ooh, the gauntlets. This is the chainsaw of this world here. Gauntlets of the Necromancer. We can lightning bolt people to death with our gauntlets. There's a lot of those games that look really good on the CRT, especially the pixel artistry games, especially if they support then 640x480 or some derivative of the 4:3 aspect ratio. Fun weapons. I mean, it is just like Doom with a paint slapped on it, and with some additions, there are definitely some changes to the game engine that allow you to look up and down, which is new. Of course, it's kind of pixel distortion as it does it, so it's not like a true 3D by a long shot. But Raven Software did do some improvements to the engine based on the straight-up Doom. That is a good point. This is a game that you can get lost in. I expect fully to get lost. Maybe we'll even find some lava tonight, but it is very maze-like, and it gets pretty messy after a while. Hi. Welcome to your Doom! I mean, welcome to your Heretic. Yes, up and down. Whoa! The Scent is over there laughing. 2 degrees of movement. How cute. There we go. Now we have the shotgun equivalent in this game, which is fantastic. It's a crossbow, and it packs a wallop, so... Yes, we will absolutely get lost in this game. One thing it added, too, is that they allowed you to use items. So it's just an item inventory to select here, and that's stuck with them in the entire series for this game. That they have an item inventory that you can use item for. Yeah, I'm playing on the second to lowest difficulty. I'm sure if I cranked it up, it would be much harder and way more enemies. So we're kind of doing it cheapo style here. Oh, I forgot to flip the switch up there that opens that. It's one of those games that I often test on machines because it is, I wouldn't say it's a demanding game for the era, but it certainly is no, like, slouch game. It needs a pretty stable machine to run at full speed in DOS here. It will run happily on a 46, right? But it definitely needs upper 46 in Pentium class if you want to run it well. I think it's cool effects here. Descent at a home theater. That bass, pretty substantial, yeah. That's also a game that would just look great in a ray traced setting. There's a lot of games like that, and I feel like a ray tracing fanboy, but these retro games ray traced, I think is a first level. 2 out of 4 secrets. We will not get all the secrets because I don't remember. Yeah, I need to get a real SC55. It's just the software stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love emulation. You can use emulation for so many cool things. Nothing against anyone emulating anything. I think actually the sound is clipping a little bit in the MIDI here. Turn it down just a smidge. And that's clipping on the device that is generating the MIDI music, so I can turn up 1 notch here to compensate. There we go. So software stuff is great. There's so many options that gives you. But there's something special about hardware too, which is why we're doing this on real retro hardware in many cases, right? No denying that. I love original hardware. And an SC55 is like... I don't like those guys who throw axes. I got a big crossbow. Well, here, like, you know, if you're playing this and you're not even thinking about the music is really good. And it's emulated so well, but there's something special. Everyone wants the SC55 because of the dancing modules on the front of it, the equalizer. So there's a Witch Haven that came out, and that's a little more RPG-y. But then you have a lot of, you know, Elder Scrolls, of course, came out around the same time. The first one, or not the first one, but Daggerfall. That's the RPG one, right? And what other ones? Because you have a lot of the dungeon crawlers that were out at the same time, of course. But there's so many of those. So I guess Witchhaven, Daggerfall, and I'm sure there's something else. I need a yellow key. The magical key card. Evening Solar, welcome. Welcome to your doom, or I mean Heretic. Or did that joke, but it's funnier the second time. I'm already lost now. Need a green key to open this door. Can't open this one. We have a map here. There's a door down there, maybe. The yellow door. So, what kind of RPG was it? Was it like a deep RPG or like a simplistic RPG? Or... How RPG-y are we? If RPG-ness was a see-through wall here. Also kind of a staple in the Heretic games that they do that. Now it gets really dark. Yeah, that would really benefit from ray tracing. There's Strife too, you're right, but Strife is definitely more of a shooter one, right? I mean, yeah, it has pretty deep RPG elements. Ah, yes, the high-modern tradition of the monster closet. Ow, who's biting me? Well, I don't think... Yes, there's mouse support, but like mouse up and down wasn't really even in Duke because that wasn't a true 3D engine. For me, a mouse look is tied to Quake because it's a full 3D rendered engine, right? And you can look up and down with perspective correction and everything. That's to me, at least. Brew of Eternal Arrows. Yeah. You may want to look up, again, Daggerfall and also Witchhaven. I mean, those... I know City 11 covered Witchhaven, and that felt like a very Heretic Hexen-style game with that kind of environment, so... But again, Strife was shooter, right? I mean, it's still a shooter, but... Hard to see here. Picking up stuff. Yeah. It was a thing to get used to. It was very different, right? I mean, it's like you've been used to playing. I mean, like I'm doing now. This is how I played all the first-person shooters back then. Was just, got the key. Daggerfall was probably the one that I either one. Yeah, I played Original Thief, and I played Thief 2, and I sucked at them. I was terrible at stealth games in the beginning, because I played them like this. I remember playing Thief 2 later on, and just running right headlong in, and just getting killed over and over. Like, why isn't it working? Oh, you gotta, like, stealth and stuff. I see. It's like a shotgun there. But they are very cool, and I think that we discussed, someone mentioned maybe on the stream a couple weeks ago, that Thief would be a nice one to stream, but then it's so slow-paced. It'll be challenging, but it might be subject to like a Let's Play or something, is what I'm thinking. I think that might be fun to do. I mean, for personal reasons, nothing else. I have a feeling I'm going to get crushed when I run in here. Can you save on this? Save game. Yep, you sure can get crushed there. Nice try. Now we have the weapon that's like the machine gun, which of course can run as fast backwards. Is strong, or fast, but not very strong, I should say. And this is the one that's loud. So we'll see if the music clips, or the sound effect clips. And it's just like, it's one of those like, I could see dismissing this game pretty easily back then, too, because it is very Doom. I mean, it is Doom with a skin on it. That's the way you see it, and that's the way you interpret it when you're playing it. But playing it now as well, this is fantastic. Like, you think about it. And I think a game like this release, this almost feels like a retro revival thing. You know, you have your medieval and stuff like that, which are revivals of this formula. But this could easily be in a retro revival one. Yeah, Doom clone. It was, you know, a thing that everyone said back then. HCCP, is that the handshake protocol crap or whatever on HDMI, or... Because there's strippers for that, right? And sorry, Ted. If that's something that I'm thinking of the correct thing or not. Yeah, there's ways to... There are ways to get around it, I think, right? At least, like you said, you probably have a solution. There are devices that can do it, and then there's some, like, capture devices, things like that, that are able to bypass it, but it's still a pain. Anytime they try and implement some, like, handshake or safety thing, it just screws over the consumer. It's just, that's all it does. These are your barrels. Dragon eggs thingamajiggers. Want to walk into those. But it creates a very different mood with the dark fantasy. And I think it has a fantastic coat of paint, really. But there looked like a secret in there. Secrets upon secrets upon secrets. Ooh, a ring. Ring of invincibility. Nice. So, Time Bomb of the Ancients. Ooh, that's probably like a screenplay or something. Map scroll, alright. So I use a data path E1 card, and the data path is... Oh, that just drops a little mine there, okay. That hurt. It probably did get ported. I think it got ported to a whole bunch of stuff, but it would be interesting to compare the different versions. So yeah, I use a data path E1 card. The nice part with that is that it captures the VGA signal raw. There's no conversion going on or anything. My connection is basically my Pentium 1 machine to a VGA splitter, which is powered, that goes to a CRT that I'm playing on, and my action cam is still missing. I'm going to take care of that sooner or later. And then the other goes directly to a KVM switch, and that goes then into... Sorry, it goes into KVM switch first, then the splitter, doesn't matter. But it goes then directly into data path, and then I can capture that raw. And that's how you can get such a clear picture, and I use it extensively for, well, pretty much every capture I do is based on the data path. And it's a fantastic analog signal capture card. Unfortunately now, the internet at large has figured that out, and they end up unfortunately costing quite a bit anymore. Which is a bummer, because it is really a fantastic retro capture card. I'm going to use the health potion here, there we go. Cleared that out. So yeah, the challenge with it is that it's not very smart, if that makes sense. It's not going to automatically tune the signal. So you have to find the exact line width and tune it like crazy. Put it this way, if I set it to DOS text mode, now you see that it shifted around, and now it gets blurry in places, but I have to run it at 640 by 400, and then set the phase and everything. It took a long time to figure out, but once I got it there, I'm very happy with the video signal that you get. And this is even through a Voodoo bypass cable. I'm using the Orchid 3D there, mentioned in the specs down here, with the VGA bypass cable, so... Yeah, and that's unfortunate. I think it's just they've gotten really popular in the retro community. I know Retro RGB raves about them, because they can capture consoles, too, great. Like, almost everything. And the biggest thing I've found is, like, I mean, I can use... I've captured, like, Tandy with it. I capture old Macs. It just takes almost everything. And it's just fantastic. And it will. And I saw someone a while back mention that there was E2Ss. And the E2Ss are the same card except with 2 inputs. And they were selling for $200. Someone was selling those. And I was tempted to grab one just to have it, because that is the top tier card in that series. The 2 VGA inputs and the S, which has a higher bandwidth, so you can capture higher resolution. Now, this card can capture up to 1920 by 1080, so that covers most retro resolutions. So this is captured in at 640 by 400, and I'm scaling it to 1600 by 1200. and then downscaling that in OBS. But 1600 by 1200 gives you a 5 and 4 integer scale from DOS games, and about as sharp as you can get. So I'm not using any scaling there, besides just, you know, well, multiple scale. There's no, like, soft scaling, and then OBS is downscaling it through area scaling, so that's all the stuff, yeah. Yeah, so okay, they're not too bad then. But last time I checked, when the ones showed up for 200, people were like, oh my goodness, that is so cheap. So I'm not sure what they go for anymore now, but I mean, I couldn't do my workflow without it. So if mine ever breaks, I'm going to have to buy for whatever the asking price is, because I'm just dependent on it now. And I paid 70, I think. That's not bad at all. Oh, I got stuck in a jam. Data path, so it's D-A-T-A-E-A-T-H, data path, E1 and E1S, or E2 and E2S. The only difference between the E1 and E2 is the 1 or 2 VGA or DVI inputs on them. Then the S is just higher bandwidth, and it can capture higher resolution. The E1 without the S cannot do, like, if you do one capture with it, it's basically capping out. It can't handle more than one at a time. But the E1S and E2S can do, like, basically double capturing. They have enough bandwidth to do that at the same time. So it is, you know, arguably the superior card. It doesn't matter what you're willing to pay for it. But if it's only still 120, 150, they must have gone down, because a while there they were dang expensive. I mean, hundreds of dollars. So that's good news for the retro world at large, because it is, for me, it's a pain in the butt to get this card to work correctly, but once you dial it in, it's fantastic. And you can get absolutely razor sharp capture from analog devices. And yeah, I can do all the console capture too, but like I said, it's probably easier with a RetroTink and just go direct with HDMI. But if you want, and from my perspective, it's like, I'm not doing analysis of, like, pixel sharpness and that stuff like Retro RGB does, for example, Bob there. He needs that to be as accurate as possible because he's doing direct comparison with devices. I don't need that accuracy, but it can do that. Oh, there's a monster closet right there. I pushed a button, it did something. Uh-huh. I don't think I can jump now. There's a flight thing I don't have now. So yeah, data path is really useful, above all because it takes every old signal I've thrown at it, especially like old VGA signals and stuff like that, which can be a pain. Yeah, it depends on what you use it for. I enjoy that challenge of getting it as perfect as I can, but really for most stuff, it's not needed or required. It's more of a personal thing for me. Ian Lone Wolf, welcome. Now we're going to the green door. Splat. Try not to move super jerky, but it's hard not to in a game like this. Well, that seems like a good... Knew that was going to happen. No, exactly. Again, it's what you use it for. It's something that I... It's very annoying that... I don't know, like the gatekeeping in any community, right? Like, oh, you have to use this one because this is the best. Like, you know, oh, you have to use this super rare sound card because it's the most amazing thing ever. And yeah, sure, it might sound good. Or you're gonna have a bad time playing with, like, a random whatever card. It's like, no, usually you can have a lot of fun. So everything has a place and everything can be used. It's, if it works for the solution, it doesn't have to be the best. What the heck was the blue door? It was up here, wasn't it? Was it up here? Yeah. Arena? Oh, okay. I don't think I ever played that one. So, for VGA, with that, USB thing. So actually, I have the StarTech USB 3, and that's what I started with, which can do that. It is very happy to capture like 640 and 480 and up. The DOS resolution it gets really finicky with. But I think the thing with having an external box like that, hasn't been any market for it. DataPath is a company still in business, right? They still make products. And they're still producing these cards, or some of those cards, for capturing different signals. Now, the VGA and DVI is kind of outdated now for them, but there's a market for that. They're professional-grade captured cards, or frame-grabbing cards. Versus, like, you know, no one's going to be interested in a consumer-grade version like that, so... But the DataPath is just incredibly versatile. Yes, they do actually have... Speaking of that... Let me dig through my box here. Am I? I've tried many of these solutions already. So this is another one that shows up a lot. This is an Extron RGB DVI. And as it sounds, it has a VGA in and a DVI out, which of course can be HDMI as well then. This is a really powerful scaler, and they're not that expensive. You usually get it pretty cheap. It does have an annoying power brick here because it is a pro-grade consumer device. It can do a lot of the scaling that you'd want. The thing is, for me, it's a little soft because it's meant for presentation on large screens and stuff. They don't really care that much. They don't care that much about like it being, spotless, whatever. So this one will do RGB and RGBY and all that kind of funky stuff. And it is a powerful scaler, and it can do a lot of this stuff with DOS resolutions and all that good stuff. But as I tested it, I found it was a little soft in the output. I didn't get rid of it because it wasn't very expensive. It was like 30 bucks or something. They might go more for more now. But yes, there are definitely Extron devices that do that. But again, most of them aren't designed for this kind of like raw pixel capture. They're meant for like blowing something up on a big screen or... That's dark. Jerk. An oscilloscope, yeah, I'm gonna decode the data raw. Yeah, especially on newer stuff. Some of the dongle stuff. I mean, what you're watching now, for me, my face here, is one of those like $12 HDMI USB 3 capture devices, and my SLR going into that. That's it. And they work. A lot of those really cheap capture devices work really good. They've gotten really good. And this is doing exactly what like one of those Elgato stream things would do, but it does it for a fraction of the cost, and it works fine. So, it doesn't always have to be the best. So, yeah, I think that when it comes to that, like I know the RetroTink 5X, for example, is the premier console one. I think he's messed with a little bit of scaling of DOS stuff on it, but not very much. I think it's mostly meant for capturing stuff like that. And, oops. That's probably the one I think most of otherwise. I think we should save. I don't think it saves anytime, yeah. I don't remember to save. There's certainly no autosave here. I saw there in one section I almost got whacked. I guess there were two dudes having away with me pretty quickly there. But the music sounds great with this SC55. We may switch here soon to using the Soundmaster sound just for the sake of nostalgia, but... Nice. That's the thing too. I take this now, since I capture almost exclusively old stuff. I do that and I just upscale it to... I know. Figured if someone would notice that. I know what I'm talking about. I'm innocent as a spring flower. We got some Metroid Prime vibes here on the music a little bit. The orchestral, like chorus stuff going on. Anyway. Yeah, that's the thing too, is like how high do you want to get? So there's one thing I would like to do, and I've mentioned it before, but I would like to stream at 1440p if I can, but that requires redoing all my overlays, because I have to basically change overlays to fit it. But if you upload at 1440p or higher, YouTube gives you a higher encoder that produces considerably sharper results, especially for retro. 1080p is easy to stream at. I think my bandwidth is high enough now that I could do 1440p and it wouldn't, like, tank my internet. So I want to try that at some point. I might tinker with it after my next video is out, because I would like to go to that. That means that the stream would look sharper. You can, of course, still watch in 1080p, but you get the higher encoder, which runs a lot better. I've noticed that when you blow up my streams to a full 4K on a TV, it tends to look pretty blurry in the capture, so... But, you know, I'm nitpicking at this point. It's retro. It's not that important, but... Hopefully no one's getting freaking seizures here now. Yeah. It is really fun to experience that, because I never would... I think a lot of us would, you know, we've never had a chance to experience having a sound canvas or MT32 and all that stuff, and now you can do that through emulation pretty easily. And it's fun to experience that. Of course, getting original hardware is fun too, but... See, I don't have the key yet. There's no key up here. There we go. Splat. Monster closet. Yep. Plap, 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 plap. Yeah, exactly. 1440p is a good middle point for me, and I use an ultra wide most of the time, but I do make my videos now in 4K because, yeah, you get a considerably higher upscale, or not upscaler, but you get a different encoder. I can't remember, it's AV1 or something like that on YouTube, and it does produce, to me at least, a noticeably sharper result, so there's that part. But I think a lot of people just watch videos on their smartphones and stuff, and I don't think it makes a big difference there, so... Whatever works for you, I guess, is the sum of it is. That's a loud weapon. My idea is that if I make it in native 4K, at least my regular videos, then people can downscale it for whatever, so... Yeah, I'd be interested to tinker with it. I'd be curious to see what it can do, so... that's right. I don't get it. But, yeah, this is the section that the demo was rolling in the beginning, or one of them, and, it is... Yes, I'm invisible, but it doesn't help me. We're ready to use the Tome of Power, because they do boost your damage a lot. Should be used in emergencies. The music is really good. Ow. Boy, they take a... Guess you're a wizard. But a wizard had it with the magical crossbow. Good question. I don't know, they're took them a while to get 60, so... That's the thing, too. I have to basically, yeah, capture stuff at 60 FPS, but when I make videos, I have to stick to 30 for 4K because my camera can't go higher. That's the limitation of my camera. And I'll get an upgraded one eventually, but right now it doesn't really matter. Like, you can't, at least from a video perspective, when you're showing equipment, it's not that important, I guess. I used to shoot at 1080 60, but I realized the 4K was better for the retro stuff. So yeah, it's 4K 30, 4K 2997, if you're gonna be correct. But so yeah, Union Banana ZX, welcome. But yeah, it works. Splat. This is an ex-demon. They are monster closet happy in this game. A super crossbow? I don't think so. But that would be pretty cool. So yeah, my goal basically is to do my regular videos at 4K 30, and then my streams, if I could get to 1440p 60, that would be pretty cool. So, but that requires me to redo my entire overlay. Of course you will. Then you'll be known as that one dude. It's a bit difficult. I will say, I'm not sure I've seen 8K yet. I guess I'm not sure if there's a rush to it, but it feels like it's always like, oh, it's the next big thing, but it seems almost silly. It's dark in here. Morph oven. Remember good a Murphoven. Where are we? Now we're getting into the maze-like. That would be cool. Are there there's some games that use voxels, right, that are coming out? Because I mean, we're right through another retro revival, which is awesome. There's so many retro games coming out that use like retro graphics, and I feel like there's a certain pull right now to get that N64, PS1, early PS2 era graphics back from nostalgic reasons, because I'm sure the people that grew up with that are back to it now. But voxels were something magical. I mean, the graphics in Outcast, games like that, were so unique and special. Now, I mean, all of them are just using raster, right, for raw output to create voxel stuff, but it's such a unique technology. Water hurts me because I'm a vampire, apparently. Yeah. There's a lot of games like that from that era that were voxel-based. I'm trying to think, yeah, because, I mean, for me, the voxel definitely is the Outcast. Alright. Yeah. But there's definitely a lot more games that use the voxel, but it's such a unique look, and I think it's just a really cool look, too. And, I mean, before 3D acceleration became a standard and that was the thing, everything was fair game, right? Just raw performance. 3D wasn't just doing it anymore. I'm back here. Calculon's back. There's a way to get up on those ramparts, too, but... Uh-huh. Anything open up now? The thing is, I think when you get to, especially for scaling, retro games, stuff like that, when thinking most about 240p and that stuff, I think it all scales very well to 4K, which is why the RetroTink 4K, whatever that's coming out, is going to be a very premier, at least retro video game scaler. Let me way in here somewhere. Show me your secrets. Let me in. I don't know what that button does. Yeah, there's a lot of resolutions that are better than just your standard 4x3. It's not here. There's a lot of switches here. Hit him one. How much damage do you take here? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of ones that are, they don't care. Random whatever resolution stuff. Did that not open? Oh, alright, I was finished there. I thought it was more secrets. Yeah, I missed a lot there, but whatever. We're progressing into the guard tower. I love the early, not early, but the DOS, like, map and those kind of things. Like, you're in between stuff for Warcraft and Doom and those, like, very carefully 3D rendered things and then downscaled to fit on here. Just delightful. Yeah, if something works, they're not going to mess with it, you know. And yeah, those 1600 by 1200 and the 1920 by 1200 monitors are fantastic. There's a lot of flexibility there because you can scale very nice to square. So that's right, you go on a Dells, right? Those Dells are really handy, especially the FP models that handle almost everything. They actually can sync down to 15 kilohertz too, so they can be used with Amigas natively, which is a nice bonus. Mostly because they contain, I think, like, you know, TV stuff in there to run TV signals, basically. They have composite and S-video and stuff like that. They make fantastic, I think, Commodore 64 monitors and that kind of stuff, too. So, exactly. I think I picked up a 2007 one. I don't remember. But yeah, the same. Those series of monitors are really good. Very handy. We're in medieval city territory here now, which I always enjoyed back in the day, and this is a big map too. We're gonna get lost totally here. Dark too. Pick up some ammo. Because a lot of these kind of maps were pretty cool back then. I mean, I mentioned it before, but you know, the space base or the military base in space is kind of played out a lot, so go time. We got a secondary fire now. Any more I can shoot? Yeah, there we go. Our tome of power makes us powerful. I'll pick up another one. They don't last that long, but it's got like a huge power boost there for a little bit. Just pick up some items, some ammo. Makes the base staff actually tolerable as a weapon. Trying to find anyone else to kill here now. And there he goes. Oh well. It's fun when it lasted. This thing at least is a hit scanner, so I can just kind of whittle those guys down up there. Come on. A gnat bite killing them to death here now. Come on. There we go. Come on. Aha! First try. There we go. Ah. You stream me. The problem there, of course, is if you go to a CRT TV or the 4x3, then you get me squished and everything. I guess you get black bars, but I will say I would love to have a HD CRT, but just the space they take, because they are just insane beasts. Just not going to be worth it space-wise. If I had unlimited space, then yeah, but... Ow. Not cool. Silver shield. Armor. Yeah, notice a little detail at the bottom there. The chain goes back and forth. Ooh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Oh, nice. All right. Well, I am 16:9 is my good side, my good aspect ratio, but that's the thing. You got to decide on your limits too. We want to save everything. We want to keep everything. We have regrets for throwing out stuff, but maybe not in the means. And also, everyone's so spread out. You would love to pass things on to someone else in the retro community, but sometimes that's not feasible. So, oh, very nice. I am playing this on a 19-inch ViewSonic CRT right now. A little laugh he gets there when he picks up a new weapon. But a 21-inch will be triggered. Shut your mouth. Oh, for Pete's sake. I saw it coming. I couldn't get out fast enough. Jerks. That's alright. I'll pick some ammo down here. Like, ammo's becoming pretty scarce. And also, take a lot of damage, so... It depends. I think you're right. Most of them probably have lag, just extra processing, because they're intended for like broadcast HD and DVDs and stuff like that, right? They never were intended for retro gaming, and I think there are some that avoid that lag. Maybe. I thought I read about it, but maybe those are the 4x3 ones that support HD. But there's always going to be some processing done on the HD ones in general, right? Doesn't matter, probably not. And I would say that if you buy or get a HD CRT, I would probably, you know, play PS2, Xbox, you know, PS3, 360, that kind of stuff on that. I think that would look fantastic. That would not be for your Duck Hunt or NES or anything at all. But, again, that's a lot of space for a pretty narrow use case. It'd be fantastic. And yeah, FW900s, we know you're throwing away so many. Boy, those have become holy grail collector item for everyone at this point. And I think we'll see, sadly, more and more show up with just busted condition. And people are asking $1 million for them. Such is the life of those. Interesting, yeah, because... So what Revenant's talking about there, Bluebeard, is that I had a compact Presario CDS 510 as a kid. So that's become my holy grail of machines to find again. But they always go up for a lot of money, more than I'm willing to spend. And maybe one day I'll find one local for a decent price. But I did find the Packard Bell equivalent locally for $50 a couple of years ago. And I am intending to make a video on it eventually. I'll get to it, promise, at some point. So I know that there's the same AST equivalent as well, so that's awesome you have one. Pretty neat machines. So what are the specs on that one that you have, if you remember, or care to share? Because the Packard Bell I have is a 4666. So, you know, the most archetypical 486 you can have. I have it sitting in my storage area. I will get to it. One thing that was so unfortunate with that one is that the screen is pretty yellow. I'm not sure if the CRT is on its way out or if I have to recap it. I've never done that, but it may be worth trying just to see if it fixes it, I guess. Nice. I believe it. I mean, it's an amazing monitor, no doubt. It's the endgame CRT or PC CRT, right? I'll take these. These are very useful. There's a green key. Thank you. Barrels are impervious to damage. So yeah, I'm gonna make a thing about that too. So what I mentioned before as well is that my commitment now for this year is to make at least one full regular video per month. So my January video should hopefully be out this weekend now. It's in the last stage of editing. I keep polishing and adding stuff, and I'm also learning how to use DaVinci in the process. So it's taken a while, but I'm pretty happy with it so far, and that should be out here now, and then I'm going to work on a February video. I may produce more content in between, but that's going to be kind of like my guiding principle. You know, I'm not going to stick to it in the sense that, like, I'm going to break my back over it or neck to get that out, but that's my goal, and that's what I would like to do. Hello. Shadowsphere. I have a lot of things now. The problem with these games, when you pick up inventory stuff, I never use them because I'm afraid I'll need them later. That's right, I got the green key. Is that in that tower here? Yeah, that's right. There it is. Guard tower. I love this setting. It's great. Again, I'm very tired with the, you know, space installation stuff, so... Awesome. Your XP video was great. I love the... It's a great piece to, like, talk about just... Oh, I guess I was saying a level. I love XP as a retro machine, because I think it gets overlooked a lot, because you can... XP is so scalable, you know. Wow, it is almost exactly So yeah, that AST is exactly as my Packard Bell, which is a Spectra or Spectria 170 or something like that. It's 46, 66, 8 megabytes of RAM, about the same hard drive, 3.5 floppy, and then 4 spin CD-ROM. I think it's identical. And then I think that the 524 and all those compact Presarios are very similar. There were some Pentium class ones of those. And the Compact might have been the first one that did it with their 425, and then people kind of copied them, I guess. Or everyone was copying Apple, I'm not sure, but you have the holy trinity of that AST, the Packard Bell, and then the Compact. And the Compact is the one I grew up with, and that's the one I would love, but again, I can't justify spending like $700 on one retro computer. So I do need to fix up and get that one fixed up. Make a video on it. Yeah, it is very interesting design. It's kind of like a weird flat fascia, whatever. Yeah, I think I saw one person on Reddit a while back saying they found all 3 of them, and they had them all lined up. And that was the holy grail of, like, those all-in-ones. But yeah, it was a weird section there where people were buying computers in box, and my Compact 510 was like, I had gotten a hand-me-down XD clone, I think. And I wanted a real computer, so then we went to a big box like retailer in Sweden, and we bought for Christmas, I think, one year, or for my birthday, I can't remember, that Compact 510. We had the box forever, so that's true. Mac Color Classic, you need all the equivalent ones. I'm not much of a Mac collector, of course, as you probably figured, but I am friends with many Mac aficionados, of course, and they seek a lot of those Macs. But I do need to fix up that Packard Bell because it does scratch that itch. Now the question is, it is a huge case, and it is quite yellowed in some spots. It's gotten more yellow, even sitting in a non-sun storage room. I know that those things yellow over time. There's just nothing you can do about it. I assume I just leave it as it is and just deal with the yellowing, because retro-brighting a case of that magnitude might be difficult, and I don't want to shatter or break anything in doing so. There's a lot of action going on here. But honestly, I love the setting, and I'm not sure why I never played through this originally. You mean like painting it? That is an option, but I wasn't sure. I've always wondered, like, painting, because I have, if you guys remember the... Oh, I got, like, wizards chanting at me now. Can you stop being so creepy? Thanks. Splat. I have a... Oh, okay, yeah, on the to-do list. I have a case that looks identical to my P3700. And I love that case. It's very, like, classic style for 90s stuff. Now... a rampart here. Freaking like maze levels here. They have the yellow key. Trying to kill everything that's laughing at me. Stop laughing at me. There we go. So I have that case, which is identical to the one I have. And the one I have right now that is on my P3700, which I stream on frequently, is pristine. It's not yellow at all. It looks great. I have a second one that's quite yellow, but it's got kind of like a gradient. I was thinking about doing retro brighting, but it's like it's an unused case. And like, I could probably just paint it beige, again, because then it would... I thought about painting in black, but I feel like I would get chastised by the retro community by taking such a great case and making it a different color, because I thought I could have an AMD equivalent of the black. But retro cases are in such short supply that I feel I'd be doing a retro sin by painting it. Hey, Supercar, welcome. Come on here, you wizard. I shoot you with my staff. These are like the, what's the fire one from Doom? Is it Doom 2? Is it the Revenant or whatever? No relation to Revenant, but I thought it was like the Revenant, the fire ones. I think they're the equivalent because they shoot those freaking beams there. Alright, now it got a little quieter so we can look around. I need a yellow key still. Now they're back. Hey everyone, Calculon's back. There. Stop laughing at me. Is there a way in here? Yes, there is. Where I was. But as the question is, like, if one case is, like, brutally yellow, then it's nothing you can do. I mean, I would think that repainting it is going to be permanent, because retrobrighting is really temporary in that sense, because we know, over time, they do revert to their original yellowed state. Depending on... It can vary how long that takes, but I'm pretty sure, taking no action, most retrobrighted things will return, because it's not sun damage, it's the flame retardant in the plastic that was mixed in the 80s and 90s. That they used, to my knowledge. I could be wrong on that, but the way I understood it, that's what's causing most of the yellowing effect, and not like sun damage. Like, yes, it will fade in the sun because of the UV light, and that's what you can see. People can retrobright things by setting them out in the sun, and I've tried that, and it works to some extent. But it's not what's causing yellowing on other things. So now we're up here. Can't jump over here. Nice. Hello, come out. Flat. Ah, there's yellow. Yellow key. Alright, we got that. Armor. Maybe I wish use an item in here now. There, I'm invisible. Hello. Land shark. That was a well-used item. They can't see me. Now I got the green one, but I don't know where the green door... it's up here? It is up there. So how do I get up there? I can't remember now. Got a way to race those stairs, right? Not race the roof, but race the stairs. Yeah, that's you raise a fair point there too. The biggest thing is that just the range for an XP machine it's so compatible. You can run all the earlier ones, and I think my favorite thing to do with overpowered XP machines is to play, you know, those early 2000 titles at, I don't know, 1600 by 1200, like full settings, buttery smooth. That's nice, but I wouldn't really play those later. You're more into the Windows 7 or Vista territory, and those are fun too, but I'll say it did shoot me. I wasn't invisible. I was invisible-ish. I feel like that's more of a multiplayer thing than... Where was the... This game does thrive on the relentlessness of their maze-like levels, but we haven't found any lava yet, so that's good news at least. I'll go back into the yellow house here. Huh. That probably did something. Yep, it opened up the stairs. You can see on the map. I always love that the map updates live. You can see that the stairs open up, and this could be a minigame by itself, so... And mostly just that XP was not, like, speed sensitive, if that makes sense, I guess, because you could play just about anything at, you know, full blow, and it's fine. I always thought that was a really cool thing. Hello? Well, that's a thing. This is probably the exit, isn't it? Just scope around a little more. I think all those staircases opened up, so we're going to take a look at those. Oh, hi. Splat. Because I've had several, like, Core 2 Duo machines that aren't quite as overpowered as what you were running there, but they would, you know, play you know, your Dungeon Siege and those kind of games really well and really fast at high resolution. They look great then on high resolution, or not high resolution, 1600 by 1200 CRT or something. I think those are a great fit for that. There we go. Stop shooting me. This is just the... Okay. A lot of secret passages in this one. You weren't out here before. I'm gonna switch the noisy weapon here now. Good grief, they just rip me a new one as soon as they do damage there. Yeah, ammo's pretty scarce actually. I'm having some difficulty with that. Health, please. There we go. Sank the wizard. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I will have to say that it ran still on Tomb Raider. The fact that that supported XP is pretty funny. That was an interesting video because it is an interesting topic, and XP is ripe for that kind of overpowered gameplay. Do not want... Have ammo for this thing now? Yeah, ammo's really low here. What's this do? Getting a... Ah. This is the second easiest difficulty, I might add, too. Yeah, they really are, because they gotta sell volume, and I mean, it is what it is. That's the world we live in. Boy, this gun is so loud. Ow. That hurt. Have to use some of these flasks here. I don't want to get screwed over. It's a big level. At least in their defense, they tend to like down-tune the game enough to fit on the Switch. You look at like Doom and Doom Eternal, like they didn't compromise the game itself. Now, they're very optimized. I'm going to save on this one again here. But they did, you know, manage... It was more of a technical feat that they managed to cram it on there, and it's impressive, but... And ankle biting killing them here. It's a lot of those dudes. By golly. This is rough for being so many monsters. Whew. Huh. Yeah, it is. They need, and the thing is that we're heavily invested in the Switch and Nintendo ecosystem. And kids love it as, you know, their primary console. We play it all the time, but it is definitely showing its age now. You know, a lot of these games are just not running well at all anymore on it, and I really hope, if I just had to have a wish list, just for wishlist for the Switch 2 or whatever the equivalent is literally just the same but more power. Make it like a, not a Pro version, but just make it a Switch 2 or something like that. Make it backwards compatible. Above all, being able to play old games. Enhance it, just add more features to it, and to call it good. It doesn't have to be a reinvent the wheel kind of situation. I really hope they don't go for something bonkers, because that's one of my worry, is that they will try and do something really crazy, and then there goes Nintendo. So Because their success of the Switch is undeniable. They've made so much money on it. Running in circles now? Yeah. Did one of these have like an elevator up? No. Nope. This is a long level. Uh-oh. Oh, wow. Nice. Optiplex 870. Runs Windows 98? That's crazy. That's backwards compatibility. My goodness. This looks promising here. We're on the rampart here now. Oh, this is the walkway up here. Who's shooting me? Oh, the case you were talking about, Suka, the one we discussed earlier. You can't even use that one now. That's a bummer. Sorry about that. Oh, I need to find the blue key somewhere. I'm still being shot at. Oh, rude. Let's see if I can run up here. Mace-like, you say? I hear those dudes chanting up there somewhere. That was the green door. Flip this switch. Yeah, that's the thing. I really hope they just stick with what they know. I think they would sell quite a bit of consoles if they just did the same thing except more powerful. Like, you know, keep the OLED or something and make it a upgraded console with maybe less Joy-Con drift, I guess, if possible. But I'm not going to even stick that far. Like, they just need to make a similar console again. I mean, the Switch has been a great success, and the family uses it extensively for what it is, being able to go portable, all that stuff. Like, it's essential to the use of it. And I'm just afraid they're going to just go bananas with some weird solution or something strange, so... I hear you. Where's the blue key? Ow. Some ammo here at least. Those dudes can do a lot of damage in a short amount of time if they get close. Such a confusing layout. It's supposed to be like a city, and it's a confusing city at that. Like any ammo I get at this point is just running low on ammo everywhere. Just fell down. Yeah, okay. Boy. Yeah, the screen, I mean, the OLED looks really, really good. No denying that. In day-to-day use, though, like, yeah, it looks very vibrant and everything, but in day-to-day use, even though it's superior to the Steam Deck screen, I think, I mean, the Steam Deck looks really good taken by itself, too, so I never feel like this, oh, the screen is terrible. Like, yeah, in a direct comparison, the OLED looks more vibrant and better, but, boy, LCD technology in general without OLED has gotten really far, too. This map is utterly confusing. Been in here. Is there something in the middle ramparts I need to... So if I go... What is the health? I'll take that. More health pickups here. I'm gonna go in here. I won't get the map a lot now, but I'm trying to do this. And then there's these two sections here. That's where the dudes are. I'm gonna get up on that rampart there. How do you get up there? Their way in there. Uh-huh. Ooh. Looky. Thank you. Easy find. Now we can go in here, which I'm surely no monster will be waiting for me when I open the door. Oh, they weren't actually. Those jerks. Ooh, nice little cathedral here. I would love to get those power-ups there. But no such luck. Yeah, the C1 seems to be the one everyone talks about as far as, like, the OLEDs. Like, that's the one that's kind of the gold standard. And even the Fallout, which I think was created named the C2, right? Did not have Wings of Wrath. I can fly. I don't know what the up and down buttons are, though. To enable them. So yeah, I can fly and pick up a whole bunch of items if I do that, so... There we go. We'll use these to pick up some more stuff here. It sounds like flying was added as a... Like... Oh, cool, it kind of worked, and then I just used it in the game engine, so... Can I not activate doors while I'm flying? Oops, that's not what I want to do. How do I get down? Yeah, I can switch to the Silent 6 in here so we can compare. Or at least the sound mode. There we go, it fell out. Yeah, I think it was just kind of like a hack that just kind of worked, and they were just like, oh, hey, it worked. Well, I can't open that door, apparently. Is it open somewhere else? Of course it is. Any switches behind here? There it is. I just don't like getting clean, so no, I'm not going to. Sure, this guy's wizard rope smells terrible, but it will listen to the soundtrack quite well. So why don't we switch to the other the Soundblaster mode instead from the MIDI here. I'll go to setup and then choose music card. So now, do we do just general Sound Blaster or the Sound Blaster AW32? Because it's an AW64, and I think probably the AW64 sound set is not terrific. We'll do Sound Blaster for now. And we'll see what it sounds like, and we'll see what the volume is too, because it might be very loud. So. It's pretty stark, but that's probably more what you recognize. It is quite a contrast, because now it's more blaring. It's a very big difference, and I think that, you know, a lot of these games from this era benefit so much from General MIDI and SC55 specifically. Because a lot of the games were composed on it. I think Doom was, for example. And then they basically down-sample it to make it sound cool. It's more like a... It's like a trumpet sound. But that's what I remember, too. Whoa, whoa, Steve, hold it on the organ there a little bit. You're getting a little too solo happy there. But it's the most nostalgic sound, for sure. We should switch to the AW version specifically and see what it sounds like, because it's quite different too. Let's do that real quick, because the Sound Blast, or the AW one, is even more different, because it uses the explicit... Well, I think so. Does it do that? Yeah, there we go. So now we have the AWE specific one. Which is not bad. It is whatever instrumentation is on AW64. But the... That's kind of like, yeah, it's a great in-between, isn't it? Because it uses a more advanced sound font than the Sound Blaster compatible part uses by itself. And that's one of the reasons why I like the AW64 as a retro sound card, because by golly, it's so compatible. It may not have the best sound because it does not have a genuine OPL chip on the board at all. It is emulated through Crystal, or not Crystal, but Creative Labs' own design. So it doesn't sound perfect on the OPL or Sound Blaster compatible, AdLib, whatever. But then it's got that extra instruction set for the AWE, and you can load different sound fonts on it. I think Phil has covered that quite a bit too. That make it sound really good. But it's a little harsh and metallic. But yeah, it's just so darn compatible, and that made me think that I should cover this as a sound card at some point, shouldn't I? I think... Yeah, this is a standard AW64. I do have an AW64 value, and I also have an AW64 gold. And it's a little bit of an in-between, so... It is a very... special sound, but it's not to everyone's liking. I think that the AW64 can tend to sound a little metallic and high-pitched, if you will. It doesn't have the same oomph for some other cards, so... no, I can't say I've watched any of her content. It's a little clickbaity, I suppose, but she had all that drama a while back, too. So the gold version has better, as I understand it, above all, better circuitry on it. It has less noise. It is much cleaner. I think as far as like the AW64, I think that's the gold standard. No pun intended. Some pun intended. It is, I believe, like, as far as like retro sound cards go, that would be the best one as far as like the AW series. But it sounds really good too. I think that probably an AW32 would sound better. Oops, I forgot to change there we go. An AW32 would sound better, but the AW64 is so darn compatible that you have the option of playing then, of course, with external MIDI. You can use General Sound Blaster, you can use the AW32 instruction set that were supported, and it sounds really good. I mean, there's no denying it, and again, it works at almost everything. Yeah, the copyright debacle is one thing. I think she just... Yeah, the guy was not nice either, but at the same time, she went pleading to the community for money for it. I try to stay out of drama. It was just... Everyone was just piling on everyone, and there's drama everywhere. Do we keep it with this? Do I switch back to the Sound Blaster, or do I switch it all back to General MIDI? What's everyone's thoughts? What do you want to hear? I do think I need to set this down a little bit. No, I'm a YouTuber. I have no opinion of my own. Whatever opinion you guys have, so... But it's a very unique sound. Oh yeah, I really should... I have a... like... a Bond style almost here now. I kind of want to do a few videos on, like... not, like, the best, but the most compatible selection, because that's something I am drawn to a lot with making retro parts, is that the compatibility is so important. I don't want to struggle with a lot of stuff. There's some special cards and stuff like that that are really fun to mess with if you enjoy getting into work. But sometimes you just want to play a darn game right, and that's where, like, for example, AW64 is just so thankful, because, I mean, I can't even find anything that this card doesn't work with. I'm sure there are, but in my experience, the games I play and what I've done, I seem to find that it works on, like, everything. This jerk. Yeah, Soundmaster Live, same thing there. If you get a good Soundmaster Live version, boy, that just works on everything too, doesn't it? And of course with the AW64, and I think the gold also has more memory on it for loading bigger sound fonts. Could be that. Yeah, and I have the value too, and that's also a really good card. This is a standard one, I think. This is actually my original AW64 that I bought when it was new. So this has two parts that are from when I bought it new, the AW64, and also the Orchid Voodoo 3D. This is obviously a church. Oh. Came like a bat out of hell. Yeah, exactly. You can... That's the thing, too. I think that everyone wants the, you know, the top of the line E3 to 1.4 gigahertz and all that stuff, but a solid P4 can be a fantastic retro machine for when it's on E2. I've said it many times, but I want to make a video on that too. It's like you don't have to use the most ridiculous components ever. You can have a really good retro experience with pretty cheap parts. You know, a MX card, Soundmaster Live of some kind, and there's tons of them, or even a AW64 or whatever. Flex. And it doesn't have to be the best of the best or rarest card, so... There you go. Is that one of your tattoos? But yes, you're right, Solar. There has to be drivers for it, otherwise you're kind of SOL, of course. Fortunately, that was supported for quite a while. Which is kind of why I like XP for retro stuff, too, because, by golly, they supported that for a long time. Alright, I think it's Tome of Power time. This is like a super shotgun. Yeah, it's funny, I messed so little with that era and that stuff. I have vague memories of doing that, but I think I sidestepped most of all that craziness. The Rambus and all the specific picky memory and who knows what. Well, it does make me realize playing this that we definitely have to do a live stream Hexen as well at some point, which was kind of like more of this, but classes and stuff too. That did something. Oh, it opens that. Okay, so you gotta run. Run? Hexen has a whole bunch of melee classes and stuff like that. Oh, a crossbow. Thank you. That's useful. This is really great. It's actually a game that I consider, you know, just sitting down and playing. And actually, I almost started doing that when I was testing this, because I was testing the MIDI, general MIDI stuff. And by golly, I started just like testing a whole bunch of games with MIDI. But, of course, they made these games have some longevity due to the maze-like structure. You gotta run around a boatload to... Bag of holding, thank you. Well, this is a good sign. Smells like a boss here now. Shooting at me still. I can't even see. Messy. Give me that thing. I can't jump. Wizards can't jump. It's fun stuff you take for granted now, which is where it's nice to see the retro revival on, you know, your amid evil and those kind of things that are just so kind of the best of both worlds. A very Hexen, very Heretic style. Like I'm missing something obvious here. Can't go back up there. Anything in here if I just kind of hang out? There's a dude still here. Behind there, okay. I think I know the problem here. We're gonna go this way. Yep. There we go. Hello. Good thing I had enough ammo for that thing. Woo. Ah. That's the thing. You get life. Life comes in the way of your retro stuff sometimes, and that's alright too. Gotta do what you gotta do. Cool thing is just like, I like, honestly waiting for it. Yeah, sure, it can be fun to just buy everything you want right away, but it can be fun to just wait for the right opportunity. You never know when a retro thing just lands in your lap. You know, you get rare parts or something like that. That does happen. Certainly had things just, like, land on me. Indian foil, welcome. Where you weren't expecting it. And those can be fun, too. And, like, I have enough retro parts to last me a long time. Like I think most of us do. But it can be really fun just to wait for the next thing to just kind of appear. If we get crushed, or if I get inside the pillar, y'all. Switch here somewhere. I need to get up there, but look up and down. Revolutionary. Yeah, it does. You pretty much got to either piece it together, and I think, you know, many of us get stuff we find locally through ads, or we get things through friends and family, or, you know, I've gotten a ton of stuff from coworkers who are like, you know, oh, I'm going to throw this away, and that's how I got quite a bit of stuff. Actually, most recently. I think I posted on Twitter, but the guy at work gave me, like, Norton stuff, which is fun, but this is a bundle pack-in for a new computer, which has, like, you know, Encarta 98, Age of Empires, there's a Windows 98 original CD, small fun stuff like that. You never know what you're gonna find, so. Oh, wow. Awesome. That's fun, too, when you find something that has a personal meaning like that, and it feels like you can, given it enough time, you know. That's why I haven't given up hope on my 524 or equivalent, even though Revenant's trying to spend more money than I should on it. I'm stuck here now. How do I get up here? This has to be opened up somehow. There's nothing else in that section here, I think. I'll double check. There might be something inside one of those pillars. Like a switch or something. We'll get squished. That just opens it, okay. Oh wow, that's awesome. What was it, if you don't mind me asking? Is it just a like, you know, put together machine, or is it like a name brand machine, or aha? No, I thought there was something in this corner. There it is. A map scroll. Well, that's handy. Doesn't help me. I can't get back up here. Well, that's darkness. Is that's magic missile to darkness. That's great. Finding things locally is awesome. How do I open that part there? Oh, awesome. That's great. It's funny, you can have so much fun with those DX2 machines. I think that the 46 DX2s are, you know, good middle ground. I think a lot of us grew up on that kind of machine. With the mid 46, something like that, right? There's something special about that era, and that's why I keep quite a bit of my 46s stock, because I don't want to boost them too much. I do have one 46 on my put a DX4 in just because I can, but often it's fun to just keep them stock. Okay, there was something there. Yep. There it is. Now we're on the way again. Down the road again. Oh, come on. A ramp here I can't get up. Is that a way out? There we go. Portal. Yay! Well, the map certainly is helping. Not you. Yeah, the, oh, wow. That's awesome. Yeah, the first, real machine I had was that compact, and that was a 46 SX33, so that was not high-powered, to say the least. I played, you know, Dark Forces on that. I played Doom 2, all those games, and, you know, had a good time doing it, too. Looking at the map here, looks like there's something here, but can't get in there. Probably a monster closet for later. Here's the yellow key, but... some more ways to get in there, but it looks like it's later. Yeah, kind of. It's not too far off. But I played all the Command & Conquer and stuff like that on that one. Then I got later this, the P100 AST. And that's what we're playing on now, which is not the exact machine. That one was long lost to time. I don't know where it ended up. But when I found out locally here in the US, someone was getting rid of 2 of those P100s, the ASTs, and he wanted $50 a pop. So I bought that one of those, and that's exactly what I have, and that's what you're seeing me streaming on now. I use that machine all the time, and then, of course, I upgraded it to what I had back then. It kept being a P100, and I put a... Oh, that looks like that's the section here that needs to be open. Where am I? Here. I put an overdrive P1, not P1, but 100 megahertz DX4 in my SX33 eventually, and that helped quite a bit, to say the least. Can't go in there yet. Looking for more switches around here. I can go up here too. Yeah, the witches love switches, so... That just opens here. Okay, so... Takes me into that section here. No. Can open this here, but I'm not sure how to open this. Also might be an exit point. Yeah. Probably need the green key first, so... Guessing I need to get up there. I don't know what opens this here. This is the one I need, but where's the key? Sorry if I'm not keeping part of the conversation here. I'm trying to keep up, but I'm trying to find where the heck the switch is that opens that. Nope. Well, even the gun shoots the correct way there. Very maze-like here now. So that got me back. I have the yellow key card. That got me in here. I feel like this section here is what you need to get into, but I can't. Was I in the right spot? Seems weird. A secret switch or someone erases this here? How do you erase this thing? Ah! I'm so confused. Randomly tapping things now. I'll probably fix it. Yeah. Didn't Amber cover some of the Cyrix Media GX chips too? I think so, right? There's a lot of cool chips from that era, but yeah. I think, you know, it's fun doing the best in slot and all the cool chips and all that stuff, but there's something to be said for some of these mid-range chips and stuff like that, so... I like it in here. Yeah, the texture looks like that. It's definitely different here, and it's definitely something that needs to open up. I mean, look at the map here. I know that there's some way through here, but I don't know how to race this or whatever the heck it is or whatever triggers this. But you can go... I'm assuming it's going to be up here first, go around there, but nothing opens that up. I'm not sure how to do that. Yeah, that's what this one has. And I think it has a 32 gig or maybe a 16 gig, I can't remember, but plenty of space anyway. Does this get you out of it? Aha, there we go. Now there was a... Come on. Yes. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Just the exit here, okay. Something. Really? That was just the exit there? Time Bomb, the Ancient? Ah! Yeah, Phil is just a fantastic retro resource. I mean, he's brought so much stuff for everyone to use and enjoy. I think we would be in a worse off spot retro-wise if he was not as good as he is. Because, I mean, the amount of resources he put on his website, the stuff he's written, the things he has created, and things like that, he's great, so... I gotta look back and see what I put in this machine, but yeah, there's definitely a micro SD card in this one, so... Yeah, that's must have taken so long. He did all the benchmark scaling on the Voodoo 2s. That is impressive, because by golly, that must have taken just so much time. So that one is clear the exit for the green key card. And I can't get up here. This must be exit here for that area. I assume the entry for that is the far east part here, where I need to get, but I can't get those ramps to come down, so... I am at a loss right now. Every time I think I get a little further, then I get stuck somewhere. I'll try and look at this ramp here again. So there was something up here, but there was just like a few items, but I'm gonna check anyway. Alright. Go slay some noobs. Huh. I think in the quest of just messing with retro stuff a lot, it's just... It becomes like a thing of... we spend so much time messing with things, and instead of just using them. And that's what I find I do with the 486 more than anything, is just sit down and use it almost, but... Evening Boss Brown Sugar. I don't really have a retro video card collection per se. I just kind of grab things that show up. I don't collect them because they just become such nuts stuff. I would say I'm a very Voodoo partial. As you can probably see behind me here, I have a Voodoo 5 box there, so I do like the Voodoo 5. I have a very soft spot for the Voodoo 3 because it's so... And I go more for the usability than the rareness of the cards. So I said I don't have any, like, you know, super rare, ultra rare cards or anything like that. I very much enjoy the usability of the cards. So that's, and I think probably the Voodoo 1 is still my favorite because it's a card that I've owned since it was new. It is such a specific time period, and I love it, everything it stands for and what it does. So. And there's a lot of really cool sound or video cards, so that may be a pretty boring answer, but I just love the Voodoo 1, the Voodoo 3, and the Voodoo 5 for what they do and what they stand for. Voodoo 3 for compatibility, Voodoo 1 for the delicious click that my card does, and the Voodoo 5 because it's ridiculous and I love streaming with it and using it, so... I gotta be missing something obvious here. Does that open up there too? No. The Voodoo 3 is just so darn compatible. Just checking if anything else opens up when I flip that switch. I don't think so. It's just this. Yeah. What am I missing, folks? Anyone see anything that I'm missing? I feel like there's a puzzle here that I'm not understanding, like this part here. Nothing's opening up here. Yeah, for sure. A lot of them were just freaking nuts or crazy or silly, you know? There were so many of them that were just so nuts. And now we mostly just get a logo and that's about it. But some of those video cards were just ridiculous in their design, or the boxes, and the cover art and all that. Not sure if Pixel's still here, but Pixel Wipes is a great resources channel for collectibles. And yeah, I pressed this part here quite a bit. Any Frank? Yeah, it is fun for sure. It's just, yeah, it's definitely Doom. It is Doom to say the least. So we're talking in this room here. Sorry, I'm blind. You mean in here? It's gonna be a little slower as I figure this out. There's a little lag with the stream, so... Is it? I think it's just a shadow, isn't it? Like, it's just a shadow effect. You mean in the top there? Oh, you mean over here? Aha! Thank you. You are absolutely correct. Well, that's ridiculous. Thank you. Let's see, most we did it. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for being my extra set of eyes where I was just being blind. So the entire progression of this game, of this map, was tied behind space barring that part of the texture. Ah, retro games, aren't they lovely? That's why I need all the co-pilots to help me play these games, because I would be stuck with it for hours, I think. Or just eventually give up and look it up. Well, now we have scoured the map for stuff. So that's nice. Oh, wow. They don't even have Blu-ray drives anymore? Yeah, that's... I guess they don't need them. No one buys physical media anymore, so... The teleporter... Myth was just basically pre-rendered, I think. At least the original Myth was just... or Myth, I was thinking Mist. Myth is 3D effects, yeah. Myth is using both software or Glide, so I was thinking Mist. Yeah, weird textures on the wall. Can't rely on that anymore. Thanks for stopping by, Mike Boy. Have a good evening. Surely nothing bad in this building here. Splat. Yeah, it's still fun to play. There are more modern ways to play this now. Oh, there's a green key, finally. You can play this in many number of different modern things. I think GZ Doom probably plays it. Yeah, that was a pretty heavy-duty game, and it was, of course, one that, since it was made by Bungie, I know the Mac people just love to say that, you know, it was the best game ever made, and etc., etc. They just love having that one hanging over people. The Marathon series and also Myth, but yeah, that was not a... Like, that game was pretty high-powered. You needed a pretty beefy computer to play it, so... Get the map for all these secrets here. Thank you. Or there's a monster closet here, too. Hidden dude. Yeah, it... Marathon was a pretty specific type of game. It was a little bit of an odd duck, if that makes sense. Is there another secret behind here? No. Forget it. I have the green key. I can progress. Maybe get out of this one level. Ooh. Oh, that's where... Okay. It's a very specific one. Yeah, and it's funny, because, like, I don't have any, like, skin in the game as far as, like, that goes. Every game can be unique on its own platform and good on its own platform, but, yeah, there was a bit of a complex there for some of the Mac owners for a while that they had to be... How do you activate this, then? I have to go up there. I think probably through that doorway. Yeah, there's so many clones. And I mean, Marathon was fine in its own regard, but it wasn't exactly, you know, good compared to Doom on that level. Doom. That's the thing, I enjoy messing around with the Mac, too. There's a lot of cool games on it. Perhaps not many as, you know, deep as, I think all the way back to the beginning, as some of the PC counterparts, but it's a fun game library to explore, and I enjoy that too, messing with that. So now how the heck do I lower that bridge or that doorway here? Right, tap for this. This is just a maze level. I can enjoy this way too much. Busted power supply? Oh. It's always the thing with these old machines is that sooner or later you're gonna have something that breaks. It's the fear, right? You know, be it power supply, a pretty common thing to go. And I mean, there's a certain time period there where Mac was definitely cutting some corners on a lot of their equipment. So I know I mentioned before about the brittle plastics on Macs, and I will say it's because Steve Jobs was gone and all that stuff, but... So how do I use the green one? I have the green key card, but how do I get down there? I don't see any other green doors. And that just showed me a little bit. Was there anything else up there? Yeah. Medieval is fantastic. We streamed it a long time ago using ray tracing, and that looks fantastic. So it's through here. Let me in. A switch here somewhere? No. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I think in any scenario, it's probably better off to spend time or money to get a modern power supply, if possible, for some of these retro machines with some adapter or something. Because I mean, good quality modern power supplies can be really, you know, powerful, last a long time, and reliable, and all that stuff, and cleaner power. Because I mean, a lot of these retro computers came with pretty basic power supplies that aren't that great. So they always say about the skimping out on power supplies, you'll pay for it later. Probably right and true, especially when the old components fail. So at least they're good options now. I mean, I have an IBM original and an IBM XT, and both of those, the previous owner put Pico PSUs in there, and it makes them so quiet. They don't need much juice to run, so how do I use my green key? That ain't opening up. Nothing opening there. Any Copilot suggestions? You know, I'm not entirely sure. I can't say I bought one to use from scratch. I'm probably not the right person to ask. Maybe someone else in chat can give an idea. So, as far as like what the adapters goes, I mean, I think they would just be plug and play, but I honestly don't know, and I hate to give bad advice and have it fry it. So, yeah, and I think that's the thing. Emulation is a very fine option too. So, yeah, you found it last time here. Now, let's see. We have the map there. This is the entryway in here, which gives you in here. Oh, I have an idea. Maybe it is... Did that open up here? No. It feels like this would open up here. I can also go back in here. Nothing in here. Unless something teleports me somewhere to that spot. There's that option. Yeah, Loom. Loom and Doom. So, Limited Run Games right now is a big box version of Loom available for purchase, and I'm considering getting that because buying a big box version of Loom now is just stupendously expensive. It's something everyone wants to collect, so I'm seriously considering getting that one. It would be a nice thing to have on the shelf, so And it includes, they said it even includes a copy of the EGA version, which is a neat thing. Oh, it just opens up right here. Fair enough. Oh, this map is turning to a slog now. And I remember Civ 11 covered this one, where he talked about how, you know, some of the stuff in this game turns into just freaking switch hunting and stuff like that. So yeah. How do you lower this platform? Because this is the green thing. And there's the thing. The stuff and the place. I have never played Loom. I hate to say it, but I didn't get into gaming until after Loom was out. And by then I was into the other point-and-click adventure games from LucasArts. Take that. Well, there's no door. It's just here. And there's a ramp here. The door is up there. And there's a hole to look at the door, but I can't get up there. Like, something needs to open the stairwell here. I don't know what triggers that stairwell. And there is, like, in here looks like there might be a switch or something, but that's closed. So, I'm at an impasse. The music is cool, but now we just listen to it on repeat here now. Yeah, LucasArts, so... Now, I've been here. This spot here is through this here, but I can't get through this little looky hole here. There's nothing I can press here. I think it's a case-by-case thing, honestly, because based on how they have portrayed it before, is that they have limited time, based on their thing, to license it. They basically approach the license holder and they say, we want to make a, you know, a box version of this game. In some cases, they partner with, you know, some well-known indie game developer or something to, we are the distributor of the physical copies, like a Switch game or PS5 or whatever. But I think when it comes to the real retro stuff like this, it's a case-by-case licensing nightmare probably deal with it. Which is why they're only allowed to do it in a short time. Plus, they couldn't keep I'm sure, all the, you know, manufacturing parts and everything around to make all these, so... yeah, I am tempted to pick up the Stamina Max, the Loom, and the Return to Monk Island, sadly, which is a lot of cash, just as after I said, like, oh, I'm not going to buy limited run games boxes, but they keep pulling me in, because those are games that I don't have. I'm not going to get Stamina Max at this rate, because that's also very expensive. So yeah, this is a sneak here. There's the green door. But how do I raise that ramp there? Takes me back all the way to the beginning. Fun stuff. This is a maze. Not an amazing maze, just a maze. Yeah, that one, I wish it was all less, because that's a lot. And the question is, like, how much of that is the pack-in thing? And that makes me a little salty, because, like, some of those pack-ins are cool, but they're expensive. So what they did with Stamina Max, I think they basically did a reproduction of the board game that appears inside of the game or something, which is a cool meta thing, but I bet that added to the price. The question is if most retro nerds want that or not. I don't know. So then you have the Stamina Max. Yeah. I'm throwing money at the screen, nothing's working. Yeah, they're doing Loom. So that one I think is definitely worth getting because they actually included the original game on a USB, I think, there. So that is really cool. Maybe if I just wreck some of these graves. I poke my staff at it. It has no effect. Okay, there's a one part in here that I don't think I've explored. There's a gray area there. But how do you get to that? The teleporter takes you right back to... Feels like it's past this point here. Alright, thanks for stopping by. Say congrats to that lady friend of yours that has an FW900 plus a 490, 4090. They're living a dream for sure. I am not. So there's got to be some way into this section here, right? That's gray there. That seems very, very suspicious. Might be just a teleport somewhere. Aha! What did this switch do? What did that open? What did that open? Is that all it took to open that freaking staircase? I'm gonna be salty. It was. It was a switch hidden in a freaking wall that opened that. Who designed this map? It should be flogged publicly. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I'm probably going to put down the money on that one, too. Now, I don't want to speak too bad about them, but expect some wait time here now because their production time is long. I mean, I waited a year for one of my games from them, and I think that's just unfortunately, it's a little bit of their management and also the drawback of those licensing deals. They probably take a long time, plus manufacturing. It takes a long time to produce those things. I don't doubt that, honestly. So some of them, like my Knights of the Old Republic box, took a year for me to get. We might finish this level tonight. I think that probably opens the middle. But we're not done exploring this area first. Yeah, I hate to be bearer of bad news, but yeah, I expect months and months, because first they're gonna close the window for ordering it, then they manufacture it, and that just takes a long time. Oh, hello. Ooh, Wings of Wrath, flying. So where does this teleporter take us then? We're here. That's oddly specific, so that was the exit point there. Okay. We already explored all this, so take me back here. I bet that opened up the middle. Yeah, there you go. And that box does look really good. I think they did the loom thing a good service there, so... Okay, that didn't do anything. Boy, this map is just brutal. This is a dead end. Can I get into this area here? No. So what does this switch do here? Something somewhere. Alright, thanks Zuka, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time. When we're still going to be running around this map, not knowing where to go. Yeah. Just when you think you get a little further. Oh, there's a secret there, probably. Nope, that's an exit point for this. And that is not doing anything. So, did this switch help me open up the middle by chance? Nope. This map will not surrender. I bet this section here needs to be opened up somehow. But how? That's a good question. I don't usually chase the latest. I guess I'm still playing Fallen Order, and I'm enjoying that quite a bit, so I guess I'm excited for the next one there. Otherwise, I keep an eye on a lot of indie games in general. There's a lot of, like, there's a RTS coming out. I'm a big fan of, oh, there we go, of Command & Conquer. I can't remember, there's one coming out that's very similar and, like, full, like, you know, base building and transports them to chickens. You can kill the chickens. I always forget. I'm so stuck in retro that I keep, like, thinking of, like, finally getting somewhere now. I'm gonna save. That I keep, like, playing games in backlog, if that makes sense. I got a Steam Deck recently, so I'm playing a lot of, like, your 2D games that I should have played a long time ago. I just finished Axiom Verge and loved every second of that. Ooh, that level. By golly. I got 6 out of 8 secrets because it took so long to get through it. 46 minutes. The graveyard. We're coming up to the end of this section, I think, now. Save. Oh, good. It's an outdoor map here, but again, the music is fantastic. Finally got some ammo now, at least. So yeah, I usually keep an eye on indie games, stuff like that. I do have a big soft spot for 2D Metroidvanias. Now, I own quite a bit of consoles as well. I had, to give you kind of like a quick story, when I was a kid, I started on console, NES, that kind of stuff like that. And like many of us did with NES, and had a Super Nintendo. Then later on got into PCs and was pretty big into PCs during the 486 and Pentium era and P3 and that kind of stuff. And then got back into consoles with the GameCube and got consoles after that and worked through quite a few of those. Found this a little wonky with the AW here. In later years, we picked up quite a bit of few consoles now, so I do have set up back here let's see, I have 2 shelves connected to a CRT. So we have NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, PlayStation 1, TurboGrafx-16, original Xbox, PS2, Dreamcast, Saturn, and then I have also a flat panel hanging above that with Xbox 360, PS3, Switch, and PS4. So yeah, quite a few consoles. I've recently got into the Mr. platform. If you watched my other streams for like back, I've streamed on the Mr. often. I'm a big fan of that one. So yeah, that's why I call myself Random Retro, because I like so much random retro stuff. A little bit of everything. I've had Game Boys throughout the years too. Mostly Nintendo stuff, honestly. But yeah, I mostly got into retro PCs, I think, more recently. I mean, I did love PC gaming for a long time, and I got back into it with the P2, P3, 46 era, you know, all that stuff. But the retro stuff has ballooned for me lately with PCs, because there's so many cool experiences with retro PCs anymore. So yeah, a little bit of everything. The Mister is really fantastic. I actually, if I want to pimp my own stuff, but I have a video on my channel, like kind of like Retro Gaming Beyond is what I called it, but it's worth a watch if you just want an introduction to the Mister, but it is a excellent platform for retro. That door looks nice. Probably want to go in there. For playing anything older than like 32-bit. But even now, having full PlayStation 1 library on it, and Saturn is being developed for it, and it plays really close to the real hardware. If you're playing like a Super Nintendo or Genesis game, or even a Commodore 64 or Amiga, it can feel indistinguishable from the real thing, which is pretty high praise, I think, for a platform like that. The fact they keep adding... Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. They keep adding things, and I have other Mr. content planned with my current plan of making one video per month, hopefully. There will be more Mr. content this year. I'm planning more Mr. content this year. It is such a versatile device that, yes, it's expensive. There's no way around it. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But if I look at it, like, example, I have a PlayStation 1. The drive on it is going bad, like so many of them. The laser is going bad. You can fix it. You can also put a ODE in it, but that's going to cost pretty close to a Mister at that point. And at that point, you're kind of better investing in a Mister because it does so many things. So the simplest thing you need to buy for a Mister is the actual D10 Nano board. You need some RAM. The 32 meg is fine if you want to start with that. You can buy 128, future-proofs you. That's the highest one available today. And an SD card, and that's pretty much it. If you just want to use the Mister as the basic of what it is, that's it. You need also a USB dongle, micro USB to USB dongle to be able to use a keyboard, mouse, controller, like that. That's it. That's all you need to get started. At that point, you can play almost everything the Mister can do. If you want to play it on a CRT, that's where it gets more complicated. You need an I/O board. That's costs some money, or you can use the direct video out as well through the HDMI port. But if you just want to play it on a flat panel, you're sad at that point. Probably want to get like a board with a fan on it, maybe, to cool it down. But I think just a heatsink is fine for it too. There's plenty of kits that will do that. Mr. Add-ons is a great resource for buying his kits. As a great site, and I want to plug that shop. I bought many things there, including stuff on my desk here now. But really, just the D10 Nano board, memory module of some variety. So I figured someone would come out here. So the D10 Nano board is the most expensive part. You're going to spend probably $250 or more now for that, which that's unfortunate. That's just the way the prices have gone up. The D10 Nano board is a development board for engineering students, and Intel has a subsidy on it. So even though it costs that much, it is worth considerably more looking at the parts. So you're going to spend $250 probably or more on the D10 Nano board, plus shipping possibly, based on supply and demand. And if you buy the memory module, that's like $30 to $60. If you want to future-proof yourself, buy the big ones, the 128 meg. I don't even have that one. But you need that for some of the modules, or the core, such as the Saturn one requires a 128. A lot of Neo Geo games require 128. But you can get by with 32 for quite a bit. Or even some cores play without memory. The Genesis, the entire core of Genesis plays flawlessly without the memory module too. So you need the memory, which is going to be $30 to $60. You need a dongle, which is like $10 maybe. And then storage, an SD card or some variety to hold it all. It depends on how much you want to put on it. You slam SNES and Genesis on there, that's not big, but if you start throwing consoles that have CD images like PS1 or Sega CD, well, then the space adds up fast. You can plug in a USB stick as well and use that, or an external hard drive, or you can plug in network-connected storage. If you want the I/O board to get analog out, that's $60 usually. You can also use the direct video mode adapter, which is, that adapter is like $10. So at the very least, you're spending $300-ish to get a basic setup. $300 to $350, probably. Which is not cheap. Don't get me wrong, that is not cheap, but it also does so much. If you buy just for like the 16-bit consoles or 16-bit computers, if you look at the list of cores that are supported now between arcades, consoles, and computers, it's insane, and they keep adding more. And between the PS1 entire library being playable, and then the Saturn now soon being playable, and there's a Jaguar core in development as well. We have Pocket Neo Geo coming, and I think it's just a matter of time before we get like CDI and 3DO and that kind of stuff too, which, you know, that's not looking very promising at the moment because it's not in active development, but just it covers so much. And I think if I didn't have one, I would have saved up to buy one because it is so flexible and versatile. Now, where I love it a lot is being able to live stream with it easily because it has dual output. With the I/O board, you can output analog and the digital signal at the same time. So I can watch or play it on a CRT and stream from HDMI on it, and it's got an excellent scaler built in. And the analog out is excellent. It's about as clear RGB as you can get for all these cores that support it. So you have a component input TV, a CRT. All you do is you get the I/O board, or use the direct output method. You do lose the HDMI if you do that, because it uses the HDMI with a dongle. And set your settings accordingly, and now you're playing, you know, PlayStation 1, Super Nintendo Genesis, and flawless component video, and it looked great. This looks fun to ride. Whee! I don't know where I'm going. I don't know. I don't think so. The real magic, we're talking the MPEG stuff on the Saturn, right? Am I remembering that right? Well, this is confusing. Oh, there's a door up here. Bring me up. Really? Not high enough? This is confusing. I don't know if they're going to do that yet. I think right now the Saturn core, I haven't checked on it lately, is pretty early on. I'm not even sure if audio is supported yet, which sounds silly, but it's coming, right? The developer for it is in Ukraine, so understandably he can't work on it super much, so... Oh, I gotcha. So yeah, it does have 4D6 support, but because of the power of the... And I shouldn't say power. I think there's some restrictions on... There's a switch there. There we go. Uh-huh. Green key, okay. Yeah, I've read about the Polymega. I haven't checked it out in a while. Mostly because it just... I have all the hardware I need to play original games, of the ones I own. So those multifunction devices, to be able to... They serve a very great niche in the sense that you have one device, because the Polymega is the one that supports real cartridges, right? It gives you a great flexibility to play your original hardware or original collection on a new system that outputs good signal and, you know, HDMI and all that. So it doesn't fit my need. Oh, I got the green one. I thought... Oh, there we go. There's one door for the green. Okay, gotcha. The Mister is not supporting that to my knowledge, but I could be wrong on that too. The Mister on the PC side has enough juice to emulate or run a 48633-ish, 50, maybe, because it doesn't have the juice to run the math coprocessor. So that limits it a little bit, or quite a bit. That's not through a fault of the, you know, developers. They've done a fantastic job, but it's just the limitation of the development board. It's just not strong enough to support that. And I think, like, you can run the MT32 emulation, for example, on the Linux side on or the ARM processor, but poorly. So they have done wonders with external MT32 emulation support on the Mister. It supports it natively. So you can just put a MT32 device on a network, or in my case, I can soft emulate it and connect it, and it works. Or direct connect it through USB. So there's a lot of options, and I think just the fact that the Mister does so much and they keep adding to it, I mean, at this point, we'll support every 16-bit, 8-bit, you know, whatever on there eventually, because, you know, people are going to keep adding stuff between hobby projects, Patreon-supported backings, and whatnot, and it's a wonderful device just for retro gaming in general. I would like to buy more to have set up, like, in my main TV area for the kids and stuff like that, and it supports multiple controllers, and it's a wonderful device, especially for being community developed. It's not a, you know, commercial product, so... So how do I get in here, then? All these mazes, telling ya. I hear them talking in there. Can't push the wall. Okay. There's so many of these levels now that are just like hunting for something, which, I mean, that extended the longevity of the game, of course, but it's a little lighter on the action and more on the switch hunting here. Yeah, I think there's the, the RMC, that YouTube channel, that great, or they used to call Retro Man Cave, not RMC. I think one of his collaborators was working on that. They were doing some mock-ups of a 3D printed, what level is this? E1M9, the Graveyard. They're working on some mock-ups that would fit a D10 nanoboard inside of a portable system like that. The one thing I wonder is, like, it's super accurate and it's great, but then I think to myself, like, when I'm playing retro games like that, is the emulation that bad? Because, like, something like the Steam Deck runs that stuff, with plenty of horsepower. And it can emulate even more than the Mister can. So, I agree it would be really neat, but just the hardware design is so important on that, right? The feel of it. That a custom-made, like, community-sourced thing would have to be, like, injection molded or something for it to be good. Because when it comes to handheld, feel is key, right? 3D printing a case is only going to take you so far. But yeah, I think RMC did that. I think Retro RGB did an interview with RMC and his co-collaborator as they were showing off the portable possible Mister system. So I hear them talking in there. Where's the switch? Where's the switch? Yeah, exactly. And I think that, 3D printing has come a long way. Not throwing shade on 3D printing, but when you get to a product like that you're going to hold, it's really important that it has the perfect feel to it. And that's why I like the ergonomics. There it is. See? Let's find a stupid switch. The ergonomics of the... Did that not do anything? Open up something somewhere. Is it one of those time things? I already forgot where it was. Press the button. It's the bacon. So that did nothing. You open up something else somewhere. And I wish I had that map screen now. That was actually pretty useful, I gotta say. Uh-huh. Well, this looks like a monster closet waiting to happen. You get the touch. Boy, they hit hard. It's funny how quickly it's in turn there. They hit hard. That's right, I have a lot of collectibles here I can use up. Probably use this weapon a little bit now. I think they're armor weapons, but they do give you a lot. Like someone mentioned earlier, they give you a lot of weapons in the beginning. Now it takes a while to pick up some more, so I'm not even sure if there are any more weapons in this episode. I have the blue key, okay. I'm gonna have the Book of Power handy there. What else do I got? Flying, egg transform, the bombs. Yeah, I would like to do that too. I really am interested in getting into the basics of the 3D printing. Just get a, one of the starter printers, like, one of the kitted out Enders or something like that. Nothing crazy. But there's too many retro possibilities with not having 3D printing, it feels like. Dry bay brackets and certain random parts that break on these clips and who knows what. There's so many crowdsourced, really cool prints that you can get. Like, I saw one that was like a 2.5 adapter for an original Xbox. That's something that's pretty practical, but it's just something that no one would industrially design. So being able to do that on small scale like that is fantastic. It's really cool that we have that now. And thank the community so much for all these cool designs. Not clearing the space here now. That's a lot of bombs. Bomb? Bomb? Hello? Is there a boss in here? Yeah. That stinks. The switch here, yeah. Is the end of the level? End of the episode? It might be. Whee! It was! The graveyard finished. Alright, well, pretty good stats on that one. The crypts. Yo, by golly. Yeah, it would be really useful to have that kind of thing, but, so when you say machining, you're talking about, like actual metal machining, or like a metal lathe or something, or a CNC machine. I had a friend who recently was looking into CNC machines. Maybe he got one, I can't remember now, but I think so. The water's pushing me. Ooh. The, original Doom engine could not do that, or they didn't have that. This was added for, our Heresy here. Yeah, I probably should. It's, it is random retro, especially if it's used for that purpose, but... Well, they're making great use of the, soundtrack here, of the AW64. So Ryan, for those that didn't see it, we switched to using the AW32 sound set, which this AW64 supports, so... Well, unique sound, but it sounds pretty good, actually. Yeah, there's that part. When you start moving into that kind of territory, there's a lot of moving parts and machining, and, like, yeah, probably want to have your hair up, and, you know, if you have long hair, and there's all those possibilities of just serious injury and bodily harm. Not something we usually associate with retro stuff, but that is a distinct possibility. Clear that room out a little before I go in there. There we go. I feel like I'm in a bad time otherwise if I run in there and there's like 40 different dudes waiting for me. But yeah, that's why the 3D printing would be nice to get into. Just to get, like, I know that there's a version 2 of the Ender, or is it version 3? There's like some pro version of the Ender 3 that only if you hold a soldering iron. It's like all those nice pictures where they hold it in the hot part. There's some of the ones that are recommended for, like, beginners, that are self-leveling and all that stuff. Like, sounds like a good idea. Well, retro is... Yeah, Reddit is really good. Vogons is fantastic. You're always welcome to join our Discord if you want. We chat a little bit of retro and little random stuff, so I can throw the link in here if you would like. No pressure. The group here that watches Livestream usually chats about random retro stuff. I will happily throw the link in here. You can join. Otherwise, as far as, like, Hangout Retro, there's a lot of, like, yeah, between Reddit, there's Facebook groups, and that's usually what I use Facebook for anymore now. It's just the retro community. Because there's retro machines on there, there's retro collectors, there's Mr. Community, you know. Look at that thing, was a crusher there. Shut up, Wesley. Oops, I'm gonna, as soon as I stop getting shot at here by random wizard dudes. There we go. Let me, feel free to join there. No pressure if you don't want to. People from the live stream here usually hang out in there during the week and just randomly chat. It's pretty low key. Just chat about retro, whatever. People talk about finds, what we've seen lately, or just me mind dumping whatever I'm working on. So, more than welcome to join. And if you ever feel like you go in there and realize, like, oh man, these guys are jerks, I don't want to talk here, then you're welcome to leave as well. I try and make it as low pressure as possible, so. Because I don't like drama. I mean, I can cause drama, but no one else can. Yeah, Discord is very much, I find Discord great for these small communities like this. I'm part of several other large Discords that are really cool. Like, there's one from Mr., which is awesome. There's tons of information in there. But there's so many people on there that I get just things fly past that it's hard to keep up with the community in there or something. So, so I think that for these smaller communities, Discord has been great. But again, it is small. It's hard for larger groups, I feel. That's not anything against those larger groups. It's just you're one out of thousands of people in there, maybe, and that makes it hard from the way Discord is structured, since it's so server specific. So, or otherwise you might come with some controversial opinions like the Celeron's the best processor ever made. So, no, I don't think there's anything you can say for drama there. We just like talking retro. Or modern stuff, too. That gave me nothing, except I don't have another key card, so it's got to be more stuff up here. Whoa, oh, okay, I'm getting crushed. Don't just look at the map, apparently. It's the moral of that story. You will get squished by a garbage compactor, I guess. Oh yeah, there's lots more stuff here. They use the sound or the music in this one to great effect. It's really good. I feel like something more here, yeah. But probably not open yet. Keep going here. The green key. Part of what we needed. Can I jump over here? Yes, I can. I thought I was going to fall to my untimely demise there. Like, I want to jump down, though. It's just taunting me. Geronimo! Oh, not so bad. Some corpses and some health pickups actually helps me. That's the thing, too. I've been on PC of some variety since, yeah, that body era too. My earlier, yeah, very Doom 2-like, isn't it? My first computer experience was my neighbor who had a Commodore Amiga, and so I grew up in Sweden, and the Commodore was just reigning supreme when it came to home computers during that era. Everyone had a C64 or an Amiga. My brother had a C128 for a while. That he managed to convince my dad we needed it for school work, I suppose, and then immediately just did nothing but play games on it, like many child arguments were at the time. But so I cut my teeth mostly on the Amiga back in the day, and still have a long love for that platform and got into PC gaming later, so. Oh, there's a switch there. Welcome back. Your noob mission completed. Like a daily quest. Kill 20 noobs. We're on a huge maze level here now, again. Which I can see, I remember, again, watching Civ 11 cover this game, and, like, it just turns into, like, a switch and, die. And, e-card hunting mania. Who shot that? Yeah, nice. Yeah, because it's funny, because I remember, so I grew up in Sweden. My friend then who had ordered an Amiga on a mail order, and then he one day came biking home with his dad, and they had gone to the post office. On the back of his bike, his dad had a big box that was the Amiga, and he's like, "Oh, we just got the Amiga," and I literally And we used to play every single day. We used to walk out on the street and play. For 1 week straight, I never saw him. Like, I asked my other friends, like, do you know where did he go? And they're like, I don't know. Yes. That Cinemaware game also was mind-blowing to me. Seeing that, like, being able to run around in the town, getting into, like, knife fights with the gang. It was so interactive. That was great. And then figuring out how to shoot the antenna. You saw the ants the first time, like, oh my god! And then realizing you can kill them by shooting the antenna. What a great game. I should stream that sometime. It is quite an experience playing that game, and I would be terrible at it now because I haven't played it since the 80s. Or 90s, whenever it came out. Well, that'd be a fun experience now. Because it is a surprisingly deep game. It's got a lot of stuff going for it for an Amiga game. This looks nice. But some of the games that my friend then played that I watched, he invited me to play Battle Isle. We played that a lot, North and South. I think of other ones. Yeah, and then he played Monkey Island, and I watched him play that. He played Lost Patrol a ton. He loved military games, so he played a lot of the... I watched him play B-17 Flying Fortress. But the production quality on the Came from the Desert was just amazing, especially for the time, and it did so much with so little. So how do I lower the blue key? Let me in! If only our dude could do the Dune 2016 jump. We need a modern, like, Doom-style revival of Heretic or Hexen. Like, make it that, like, cool, fast-paced and whatever, except magic. I know Medieval is not far off. I mean, that's pretty rad, too, but doesn't quite feel quite the same, but it was. And it's easy to forget, like, you know, people here now that weren't familiar with the platform, but you think back to the Amiga coming out in 1985, and, like, the musical capabilities and the multimedia was just beyond anything else I certainly had seen. I was pretty young. I was born early 80s, right? So I'm a geriatric millennial. So I didn't get to experience the Amiga firsthand that early on. I saw it later on, but what a platform. The Amiga 500 was my first exposure to it. So that would have been probably 87, 88 maybe? But, you know, coming off the NES at the time was just like, holy buckets, this is cool. It was just so much more advanced. Okay, so this is the beginning. Anything else here that was green? There's something down in the southwest there. Is there a stupid, like, little button somewhere that lowers this? Feels like there's a stupid little button somewhere that lowers this. Yep. See? Stupid button somewhere that lowers it. Oh, look at that. There it is. So yeah, the Amiga has a very soft... I have a very soft spot for the Amiga because it was so ahead of its time and, like, so designed to be... And it feels like it spawned a generation of bedroom coders, you know, Amos for game programming, and then, of course, all the tracker music and the cracking scene, and it gave you so much power at home, where a lot of the 8-bit micros and 8-bit computers were powerful in their own right. Once you got to 16-bit computing, that was something else entirely. Well, this looks like a lovely thing. Oh no, I never stopped playing games, and I married into a gamer as well, and she grew up more on consoles, and they had her first computer was like a 46, or an early Pentium machine, but she has been into computers since, and she got into software development, and she loves retro, and we collect together, and so we've been doing that for many years now, but... Growing, huh? Not until we have some monster closets first. This dude's hurt a lot, so... Oh, it did something. Yeah, it's funny because I enjoy setting up and having all the game systems hooked up, and I enjoy having retro computers, and she enjoys using them, so she doesn't want to mess with the wires, so she's like, you know, I want to play Final Fantasy VI again on Super Nintendo, and like, it's all rigged up to go, and she can just start playing it, so... so she has thanked me many times for doing all the hard work of that part, because I mean, we all know, if there's a barrier of entry as far as, like, I need to set everything up and get it working, then it's hard to get into it, or... I want it all ready to go, if that makes sense, so... Well, there's a lot of twists and turns on this map here now. So this is... Yeah, this is the throne room where it came from. Yeah, I have to look at the ray tracing stuff for this. There's got to be something for ray tracing here, because it would add so much to it. Oh well, we'll just step through this portal haphazardly. What's the worst that can happen? Oh. I'm over here. I'm back here. So is there anything that I need to get there? I feel like there's something else missing here. There's another one. There's a door here. This is the exit. Okay. Yeah, I am retro. I live retro, and that's what I enjoy the most. So, I enjoy modern stuff as much as anyone else, and, you know, ray tracing and all that stuff is super cool. But at retro gamer at heart, and that's where I'll stay. But I don't feel bad. It's interesting to see. It's not everyone I, you know, surround myself in real life love retro, and they maybe remember it fondly. Wow, missed a lot of secrets on that one. Hell's Maw. Is this the last? Oh my goodness. Save. That's a question that's open to interpretation. Like, everyone gets kind of bent out of shape on that one, right? I think that's very much your own preference question, because, well, I'll argue if you have a ballpark something, and probably say, you know, 15, 20 years, something like that, right? I would probably consider that the original Xbox is retro to me, but the 360 feels kind of not yet, but it probably will soon. But that can be open interpretation. I don't think there's a hard and fast rule, because retro is what you feel is retro. I understand if you have a community and you, like, want to keep posts retro, maybe you say, you know, older than generation whatever only, and that's fair. But when people get really gatekeeping about it, it gets a little annoying, because, like, we don't have to gatekeep that much. Ow, ow, ow. This is lava. We found it, everyone. We found the lava. We found it over here. Oh, I'm gonna burn. Yeah. That's true. It does create a certain, like, you know, there's the nostalgia, of course, but just, like... The floor is indeed lava, and we're gonna roast here, I think. We did it. We finally found some lava, and I fell into it. Yay! Everyone get their bingo cards out. For the people that are new watching my stream, it's kind of like a standing joke that I fall into lava anytime I find it, so... I feel personally for retro, I don't know, again, I would probably say, like... So how old is the Xbox? The original was like, I mean, 20 years. Probably about 20 years for me, it starts feeling like retro. I consider the original Xbox, the PS2, and the GameCube and that kind of stuff retro. That's retro to me at this point. I don't feel the 360, like the modern Unreal 3 engine and forward kind of feels retro yet, but again, open to interpretation. So 20 is probably where, personally, I would say, like, this is retro to me. Because I remember using that way back. You know, I bought a GameCube when it was, none of it was new, but like many of us, I bought the GameCube after launch when they were fire selling them out. Did I get anything out of that? I didn't. Yeah, that came out in 2017 as far as performance, it sure is, but... Well, I like the lava so much, let's run down again. I probably forgot to hit a switch up there that I should have. Boy, that really scorches your feet there. There's another game, Power Slave, I guess. Probably many of you recognize that one, but... There is the renewed one. It's almost like a Metroidvania, but there is a... Oh my. Well, that did something. I bet those hurt a lot when you get hit by those. Woo! How many are there? Hopefully they're not generated here. They might be. Are they spawning? Are they sure are? Oh, this is going to be a bad time. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Well, this feels like a boss area here now. Well, I enjoyed the lava so much here, so... yeah, that's the thing. Retro, or, you know, 90s to me still feels like... Oh, this is definitely a boss. Oh, I made a horrible mistake. Yay! Murdered the dude. Can I get some health here? You guys can fly. I guess I could, but I sure did go Super Saiyan there. I used an invincibility. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I am stuck. I was stuck in the geometry. I could not move. So I know I saved before I jumped into lava, so we have that, but... Well, that was cool. I guess I'll have to do that again. Now I know where to go. So this is definitely a boss level. Yeah, I used a invincibility, and then I used a power thing. I'll have to do the same thing again to just nuke that guy. But he was, like, spinning me around when I know what to expect, so... That sounds like a good stopping point there once we get, kill that dude there. Yeah, I have mostly, like, a lot of retro console experience. I had the original Game Boy, I still have mine. I modded it since, but... that was just so many times you know, yeah, same thing. I would watch the street lights fly by, and also, unfortunately, I got motion sick pretty easy when I was a kid, so I couldn't really spend that much time playing. But when I did, it was fantastic. Well, that really hurts your Oh. Pick up some health there. There we go. Yep. I'm playing on an ASD Advantage 8100p. I had an let's see, ASD Advantage 810 or something, and I think it was the same chassis and it was the same specs. It was just in Europe, that's what they called those particular models. So, I'm gonna save here, so we don't have to redo that part. And let's see, now we're going to use this. And then I'm gonna use a Book of Power. Well, that's extremely annoying. Die. There you died. Okay, now I need to get the heck out of dodge here. I prepare for the onslaught. Yeah, that is just horrible, so... Oh, nice. Well, you have a lot of cool ASTs. Oh, there they are. Transformed a whole bunch into chickens, so that helped. Whew. Ow! Whew! Did I load up? No, I have to fight the dude again. Jeez Louise. I think this is definitely the way to go. Maybe I can just escape from that. All these spawning in dudes. This does way more damage. Yep. Oh, wow. Oh, this is lava. I'll just chill here. Yeah, I probably can. So this was definitely the thing to go with. Boy, those spins are... Yep, got them early on. There, transform half into chickens. That should clear out quite a bit of them. Alright, I'm gonna save now. Alright, now we go. Yeah, we got a good epic conclusion to this because it was lava and lava all the time. Can I just teleport out of here? Yeah, I can get back up here. Whoa! Oh, wow. Well, that's not fair. There's a monster closet up here. I assume you have to kill everything here for stuff to carry on. Well, lava hurts. Oh. I forgot about that. It's a lot hard to use the items while I'm running around. Effectively, anyway. There's some respite here. I'll probably not stand next to this thing. I'll save again. We're gonna make it through this level, even though I don't know sure where to go, but the lava is definitely having its way with me right now, so. In here. Neat stuff. Ammo. Save again. We're gonna make it through this. What I think I'm gonna do is use this one and the Book of Power, because this one just shoots all over the place. So I think that's it. That brings you back, so... Gotta be right. Hello, anyone in here? No, I think that's it. Alright, let's save again, and you think you gotta make it all the way across, so that might hurt a little bit. Whoa, what was... Oh, ring him in... Oh, okay. I think there we go. First entire episode completed. It was a perfect stop point there, but with the destruction of the Iron Leeches and their minions, the last of the Undead are cleared from this plane of existence. Those creatures had to come from somewhere, although it's very slow typing. And you have the sneaky suspicion that the fiery portal of Hell's Maw opens onto their home dimension. Well, thank you. We got through there in the end, and that was on the second from lowest difficulties, not the lowest one for once. To make sure that more undead or even worse things don't come through, you have to seal Hell's Maw from the other side. Of course, that means you may get stuck in a very unfriendly world, but no one ever said that being a heretic is easy. So this sounds very much like Doom in the sense that, you know, you go through, and there you go. Then you start over on episode 2, and that's it. But Heretic is coming from playing Doom, I think this felt like a breath of fresh air in the sense that it was still Doom, but it was different enough. Although those maze levels are, yeah, they're something, you know. That finding all the key cards and all the stuff was kind of annoying there towards the end for sure. And if you know where to go, it's different, of course. But I haven't played through this like ever, really. So that was a good place to stop there. But I appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. Think of something else to play next week. I'm really hoping and pushing for the video that I'm working on to be out this weekend, so keep an eye on that. Hopefully that comes true. I still have some more stuff to take care of with it, editing, filming, all that good stuff. But yeah, Heretic still holds up. I think it's a good game. But probably want to play it in a more modern way with a mouse and keyboard through GZ Doom or something like that. So, but still fun. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Appreciate it. Hi to everyone who's new, and feel free to hop on Discord there, and we'll say hi and talk to each other in a week. So thanks for stopping by. Have a good one and a good weekend. Good night.